जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय केशव धृतार हर रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, केशव धृता नर हरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जगदीश हरे, जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव, जय नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज, जय प्रहलाद महाराज। प्रेम से बोले सर्व विघ्न विनाशक श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की, भक्त श्रवणी से प्रहलाद महाराज की। हरे कृष्णा। अभी यहाँ पर अंग्रेजी में प्रवचन होगा भगवद गीता पर 7:30 से 8:30 बजे तक। जिनकी नौक को भी सुनना कृपया अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठे। हरे कृष्णा। देयर विल बी क्लास हियर ऑन भगवद गीता फ्रॉम 7:30 PM to 8:30 PM. Those who want to listen it, please be kindly seated at your place. Don't make noise. कृपया शोरगुल ना करें। हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। So Hare Krishna. So in continuation to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class, we are currently in the 4th chapter, 16th verse. So I'll be reading the verse, and those of us who can follow, please repeat the verse, after which I'll read a word-to-word translation and then the entire translation with the commentary of Srila Prabhupada. So, we are in the 4th chapter entitled Transcendental Knowledge. 16th verse. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohitaha kavayo api atra mohitaha tatte karma parakshami yad gyatva mokshashe ashubhat kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohitaha tatte karma parakshami yad gyatva mokshashe ashubhat. Word to word translation. Kim, what is? Karma, action. Kim, what is? Akarma, inaction. Iti, thus. Kavayah, the intelligent. Api, also. Atra, in this matter. Mohitaha, are bewildered. Tat, that. Te, unto you. Karma, work. Pravakshami, I shall explain. Yat, which. Gyatva, knowing. Mokshase, you will be liberated. Ashubhat, from ill fortune. So Lord Krishna here is speaking to Arjuna and he is saying, even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Purport. Action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in the 15th verse. Why such action should not be independent will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the Sun God. The Sun God explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ikshvaku. And the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by the Lord Himself. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagvat pranitam. Bhagavatam 6.3.90. No one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, the Kumaras, Kapila, Prahlad, Bhishma, Sukadev Goswami, Yamraj, Janaka, and Bali Maharaj. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy to His devotees, the Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapanandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, welcome to all who have been attending the weekly Bhagavad Gita class. So, before we start, just want to know how many of us are regularly or have attended this class in the past? Anybody who is coming for the first time? Okay. Anybody who has attended at least 4 or 5 classes so far? Okay. So, we are in the 4th chapter of the Gita, and the verse we read, in which Lord Krishna is, he is actually revealing a knowledge to Arjuna, and he says, Yat gyatva mokshashe ashubhat, which means he's saying, Kim karma kim akarmeti. What is karma and what is akarma? Even the intelligent are bewildered. Even the intelligent are not able to decipher what is action that will, relieve me from ashubh, and what is inaction. So this is a very important verse, because actually who is there in this world who doesn't want to get relieved from ashubh? Is there anybody who doesn't have ashubh in their life? What is the meaning of ashubh? Ashubh is inauspicious. Like we say shubh labh, auspicious profit, right? So everybody wants auspiciousness in life, right? There is nobody who will say, I don't want, and everybody wants auspiciousness all the time in the life. There is nobody who will say that, let some things be inauspicious or let some time be inauspicious. So there is everybody who wants auspiciousness, and there is nobody who doesn't have inauspiciousness in their life, no matter who a person is. Just recently there was a article where the richest person on this planet is going to be getting a paycheck of $1 trillion. $1 trillion is 1 lakh crore. It has been approved that if that person is able to deliver some results, he will get 1 lakh crore of dollars. So that is maybe 100 crore of rupees, around that. But even after somebody who's getting that kind of money, can he guarantee that there will be no inauspiciousness in his life? He will still be getting up in the morning. He will still be dealing with people around him. He will still be dealing with his subordinates, his family, his spouse, politicians, people from other businesses. He will have competition. And what is the guarantee that he will not have any interaction or anything? The scriptures explain that there are 3 miseries. There is misery caused by our own mind and body, which is called Adhyatmic Klesh. And nobody is, exempt from it. We cannot say that there is never a time when I am, unwell, either physically or mentally. There is miseries caused by other living entities. We as human beings, we are social people, right? We interact with people. We interact with, if not people, we interact with other living entities. So there are miseries which are caused to us by other living entities. Those living entities may be in the body of humans, may be in the body of animals, mosquitoes, anything. And there are miseries which are caused by nature, right? There are miseries which are caused by factors which are beyond our control. We have no control over rains. We have no control over wind. We have no control over temperature. We have no control over earthquakes. So, in this world, with a life of 80 to 100 years to the max, no matter what we do and no matter what we get, we can never say that we are exempt from inauspiciousness. But here Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that I will give you a knowledge which will release you from all inauspiciousness or everything that is Ashubh. So this is, all of us should be very much, wanting to know how can that be done? How can I get rid of all inauspiciousness in my life? So this is a very, very relevant verse for all of us. So since quite a few of us are new, we have come for the first time here. So we are in the 4th chapter of the Gita, of the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita, as you know, Gita is song and Bhagavad is a song which is actually rendered by God Himself. So when Arjun, in the first chapter, in the 2nd chapter, Arjuna very honestly expressed his confusion to the Lord. He very honestly, he said that I am feeling weak, my limbs are trembling, my Gandiva bow is slipping from my hands. And he was on the verge of sobbing actually, of crying. And he very, very honestly, he expressed to the Lord, he was being a pure devotee and an eternal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he was very fortunate that he expressed his state to Krishna himself. He expressed to the Lord that I have no means to get relief from what I am going through, what I am suffering. Even a kingdom, unrivaled kingdom of the entire planet will not be able to relieve me from this misery. So Arjuna is saying that even an unrivaled kingdom, which means all the wealth of this planet, even if he gets that, he will not be able to relieve himself from this misery. So Arjuna and whom is he speaking? Whom is he addressing? He is addressing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is somebody who's omniscient. He knows everything. He is omnipotent. He can do anything. And what does, of course, Krishna initially chastises him, but after mildly chastising Arjuna, what is the first concept or what is the first foundational, foundational thing that Lord Krishna tells Arjuna? Right? So in the 9th chapter, Lord Krishna, of course we are in the 4th chapter, but in the 9th chapter, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Raj, he says that the knowledge that I am going to reveal to you, in the 9th chapter he says, it is the king of knowledge. And it is the king of all secrets. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, I am going to reveal to you the king of all secrets. Okay. But in the 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna reveals to Arjuna the secret. Not the king yet, but the secret. And what is that secret? Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that there was never a time when I did not exist, when you did not exist, and when all these kings did not exist. And there will never be a time when we will cease to be. Which means Krishna is actually telling Arjuna that, Arjuna, you are miserable, but please know that you and I and everybody and all of us are eternal. There is, what you are experiencing now is temporary. And you are eternal, even after, so of course after that Krishna says that Dehinosmin etha dehe kaumaram yauvanam java, that even after the body dies, the soul keeps, depending on the activities, the soul keeps going to next body. The soul is eternal. We are all eternals. We are all eternal living entities. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, when Arjuna is expressing his condition, the first thing Krishna is telling to leave him, which is a fact, which Krishna over next 10 to 15 verses, he explains in detail what is the soul. The soul cannot be burned, the soul cannot be dried, cannot be moistened, cannot be destroyed by any weapon. So the first thing Krishna is telling Arjuna is that we are eternal. We are souls. No matter what we are experiencing, this is temporary and we will continue to exist. So that is the first first knowledge that Krishna is telling Arjuna in the 2nd chapter. But having known that we are the soul, all of us sitting here, in fact, once Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Russia, so he happened to meet a very, very famous professor in Russia. And he happened to have a one-to-one meeting with him along with Prabhupada's secretary, Sundarinath Prabhu. And Prabhupada actually told him that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. And to Prabhupada's surprise, he was not willing to accept that. But Prabhupada then told later on that even a cart puller in India knows that he is not the body, he is the soul. At that time, I am talking about 1960s, 70s. But the situation has changed now. It is not so now, even in India. Right? So, but even having understood that we are not the body, we are the soul, the very, very important question is, we are the soul, we are eternal, we will never cease to exist, but how are we supposed to act? In this verse, Krishna is telling Arjuna, I will give you a knowledge on what is action, what is inaction, knowing which you will be relieved from all ill fortune. So the most Jai Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki or Nitai ki, Srinath ji ki. So the very important question for us to understand and try to implement is that how are we supposed to act? Very important question. So after explaining to Arjuna in detail, which technically is called Sankhya philosophy, that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. At the end of it, Krishna tells to Arjuna that since you are a Kshatriya, Arjuna was a Kshatriya, right? Since you are a Kshatriya, it is your duty to fight. So first, thing that all of us need to understand is we are spirit souls. We are eternal. We'll never cease to be, right? And the second most important thing for us to understand is that all of us, even though we are spirit souls, we are encaged in a body, right? And all of us, depending on our past activities, we are not of the same nature, right? Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained that Chatur Varnaya Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So there are broadly 4 categories of, of human beings based on quality, based not on birth, based on guna karma, based on quality and based on activities. So all of us have a unique nature, right? Some of us are, we are administrators by nature. Some of us are, we are intellectual. Some of us are business people and some of us are normal workers. Huh? So this is the kind of work in which we find ourselves getting absorbed, right? If we are a Kshatriya, we find immediate absorption if we are given an activity of administration. If we are Brahminical in nature, we have a thirst for knowledge. We have a thirst to teach, right? If we are Vaishya, we are always thinking about, what can I do to earn, to, increase my wealth. And if we are Vaishya, we are most absorbed in serving. So Krishna, through Arjuna, in fact, Krishna is telling Arjuna that since you are a Kshatriya, it is your duty to engage in the act of violence. And violence for what? Violence for religious principle. Right? Krishna, in fact, on behalf of Pandavas, Krishna went to Duryodhan and he said that these are Kshatriyas. These 5 brothers, they are Kshatriyas. They cannot live like Brahmanas. They cannot live like Vaishyas. They just want 5 villages. Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is going on behalf of Pandavas and asking Duryodhan, who is evil-minded, right, who is envious of the Pandavas, who has tried to kill Pandavas, who has tried to, dishonor their respectable wife. Krishna is okay if he just accepts that let them do their dharma, which is as Kshatriyas. But Duryodhana refused. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, it is your duty as a Kshatriya to fight. So your best engagement, after having known that you are not the body, you are the soul. Second category of knowledge is to know that what is your material nature. Because you are engaged in a body based on your past. All of us don't have the same kind of body. Some have a higher body, some have a lower body. But the important thing is that we engage ourselves based on our nature. Okay, so that is what Krishna is saying to Arjuna after having explained in detail about the soul. But then the most important thing that Krishna says to Arjuna is that if you do not engage in your dharma as a Kshatriya, which is your best engagement, if you do not engage as a Kshatriya, then you will incur sin because you are neglecting your duties. You will get infamy. Because those Kshatriyas who have glorified you as a warrior will talk ill about you. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than that. So if we are not engaged in our acquired nature, first of all, it is sinful. Secondly, it will cause infamy. And if we do engage, then what we will get, that is the best engagement and we will gain from it. Now, the most important thing Krishna tells Arjuna in chapter 2, verse 38, is that you have to do your duties not for personal gratification, but as an offering to Krishna. So, Krishna says to Arjuna that be engaged in your work for the sake of duty, for the sake of work. But if you think about it, it is actually Krishna is indicating to Arjuna that we have to do our duty for duty towards whom? If we have to do our work as a duty, it has to be our duty towards someone. right? So that towards someone actually is our duty to Krishna, which in the beginning of the 4th chapter, Krishna, in fact, Arjuna asked Krishna, when Krishna tells Arjuna that I have given this same knowledge to Sun God. Sun God gave it to his son. And his son gave that knowledge in turn to his son. So Arjuna asked Krishna that how am I to understand this? Because you are, by age, you are much junior to the Sun God. So there Krishna reveals his identity to Arjuna. He says that Ajo api san avyatma, bhutanam ishvaro api san, that I am the Lord of all creatures. And I have come here in my own nature. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is not like me and you. When he comes here, he does not come here. We come here we come here in a particular body because of our past karma. We come here. We don't get to select our parents. We don't get to select our siblings. We don't get to select our children, right? So this is thrust upon us. Based on our past, whatever we are experiencing now is actually thrust upon us. We don't have a choice to change it. We have a choice to react to it. But Krishna, he says that Ajo api san avyatma, I am bhutanam ishwaropi san. Even the soul is avyatma. Even we are avyatma. We don't get destroyed. But Krishna is Ishwar. He is the Lord. He is our source actually. So when Krishna says that being a Kshatriya, you have to act, and you have to act as a duty to Krishna. You have to. So Srila Prabhupada, he named this society ISKCON as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So if you think about it, basically it is a activity in which the members or those who are attending the programs of this activity, we are supposed to be conscious of. It is International Society for. So we are supposed to be conscious of. We are supposed to be conscious of Krishna. We are supposed to be conscious of Krishna, which means we are supposed to be also conscious of what our duty towards Krishna is. What is the position of Krishna? And what is our duty towards Krishna? So when Krishna says, in this, coming back to this verse, Krishna says that kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohitaha. So that karma which we are doing in our capacity as a Kshatriya, Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever our capacity is, whatever our qualification is, that karma, that activity, see, we are doing activity throughout the day. If not with the body, with the mind, with words. There is never a time when we are inactive. Right? So, Krishna says to Arjuna that if you don't act as a Kshatriya, that is a sin. Because soul by nature is active. Now we have to use our body and dovetail it in the service of Krishna, for which we have to be Krishna conscious. For example, if I have to do something for my father, right? If I want to work for my father, I have to have love for my father. When I have love for my father, I do something, then I am doing it out of being conscious of my father. But the success, since Krishna is our original father, our success is when we are conscious of Krishna in our activities and when we work for him. Whatever we are doing, Kshatriya, Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra, when we engage ourselves in his service for him, and what is the proof that we have worked for him? There are two people. One is a devotee, devoted to Krishna, and one is a regular materialistic person. Both of them are working in office. Both of them are doing the same job, having the same role in office. Both of them are, evidently they are doing the same thing. But one may be doing it out of consciousness of Krishna, and the other may be doing it out of self-consciousness, out of sense gratification. And what is the proof of it? How will we differentiate who is doing it for what? So the difference is that somebody who is conscious of Krishna, who is conscious that he is not this body, he is not the spirit soul. If he is conscious that he is not the body, he will not be utilizing the fruit of his activity, which is his salary, for sense gratification. He will not be, using it for things which are not prescribed in the Shastra, which is vikarma. Right? We have spoken about karma and akarma. So the Shastra, they talk about three categories of karma. One is karma, which is duty prescribed as per our position. Second is vikarma, duties which are said not to be done. The Shastras, out of the Lord, out of His causeless mercy, Srila Prabhupada, out of His causeless mercy, sometimes we feel that mercy is when we are getting something for our sense gratification. We are getting something good to eat, or something nice to wear, or something, money. But the great saintly people, they are giving us their mercy through their instructions. They are giving us their mercy through the process they have given to us to become Krishna conscious. So coming back to our example, two people are doing the same thing. But the person who is not a devotee, who is a materialist, will take that money, and because he has no goal in life, he has no understanding of life, he will use it for personal sense gratification. And most likely he will use it for vikarma, which Srila Prabhupada says that the four pillars of sinful life are meat eating, gambling, intoxication and illicit sex. But a devotee, both of them are doing the same thing. A devotee will use the fruit of his activity, which is the money, in the service of the Lord. If he is married, he will, get the money home, he will get food prepared, the food will be offered to the Lord. He will arrange for people who are staying with him to become Krishna conscious, right? So the point is that the best type of activity that one could do is to act in Krishna consciousness, knowing our position, knowing the position of the Lord. But the next question is, okay, we understand that we are the spirit soul, we understand that we are engaged in a body, we understand that the best course of action is to act for Krishna, but how do we develop that? Because to act for someone, you have to develop that consciousness, right? So Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, he was born in 1996. And for those of us who do not know, Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 70, he went in a cargo ship. He went in a cargo ship to USA for the purpose of giving this understanding to all of us, or at that time to the Westerners, of how we can become Krishna conscious, right? So he gave us this process, this very, very amazing transformative process. This process is actually, even somebody who doesn't know that what he is doing, if he does it with the right attitude, that person can get transformed. So Srila Prabhupada, he repeats what is there in the Bhagavatam. So this process is very simple. How we can become Krishna conscious? Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada says there are 9 simple processes. So we can divide this into 2. How we can become Krishna, how we can act for Krishna can be divided into 2 things. First set of activities is what we need to do to become Krishna conscious. And then the activities that we will do once we are Krishna conscious. So Srila Prabhupada gave us the activities which are Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So very, we can understand this very simply, that to be conscious of someone, we have to, hear about that person. Suppose now, there are so many famous cricketers now, right? And there is a very big fan following of cricket. Right now, recently, India also won the Women's World Cup, right? Now, there are so many cricketers who are so famous in India. But if you go to Africa or, some country where the cricket is not played at all, and you ask someone about such and such cricketer who's like a very big hero in India, they will not know. They will not have any feeling about him. And if you ask the same question to an Indian, a Mumbaiite, maybe the cricketer is from Mumbai, he will have so much emotion for him. Why? Because he has heard about him. He knows about him, right? And that a cricketer is a mundane person. You cannot have, even if you hear about him, you cannot have a transformation in the heart. So Prabhupada is saying the first two processes to know Krishna are Shravanam Kirtanam. We have to hear about Krishna. We have to hear about God. And we have to chant God's holy names. Right? So when we hear about God and when we hear about God and then we chant His holy names, actually we are, the Lord, the name of the Lord and the Lord are indifferent. They are absolute. So if I'm thirsty and if I keep chanting water, 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 my thirst will not get quenched. Because the word water is a material word. Right? But Krishna, when I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, what is happening? Actually, Prabhupada says, when you chant Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada says that, Srimati Radharani and Krishna are dancing on your tongue. Just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can actually transform your consciousness completely. Just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So the first thing to be able to act for Krishna is to become Krishna conscious. Right? And the first two things for us to be able to be Krishna conscious is to hear about Krishna from where? Krishna is so kind, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He has spoken Himself to Arjuna. Just imagine, we have a scripture where God is not just saying, do this, do that. God is having an interaction with the devotee. He is answering all his questions. Through him, He is answering our questions. So if we just give an oral reception to this conversation between God and His devotee, Srila Prabhupada says that if you are reading Bhagavad Gita or if you are hearing Bhagavad Gita, you are actually worshipping Krishna through your intelligence. You are not doing anything, but it is taken as a worship. You are actually pleasing the Lord just by giving an oral reception to the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is available to all of us. So if some of us who are new here, and so what you can, as a starting point, if we can hear about the Lord, and if we can chant His holy names, it will have a transformational change in our lives. Of course, our nature will not change. If we are a Kshatriya, we will remain a Kshatriya. Srila Prabhupada says that till the end of your life, one needs to follow their Swadharma. Till the end of the life. So by this process, this transformative process of Krishna consciousness, we cannot expect that if I'm my nature will change. No. But my consciousness will change. The way I see people will change. I will not see people to exploit them. I should be able to see people as part of Krishna. Like I am a part of Krishna, everybody is a part of Krishna. So there is a very nice, about the transformational impact of chanting. There was a hunter. Quite some of us may be aware of this story. His name was Mrigari. Mig means animals and Ari means enemy. So his name was only he is the enemy of animals. So what he used to do? So a normal hunter will kill the animal and take his skin. But Mrigari, he was so cruel. And because he was taught to be cruel by his father, he used to half kill animals. He used to just, hit them with an arrow, with their, legs broken. He would leave them. And he was so cruel, he would take pleasure in that. And he was living in a forest. So once Narada, the great Narad Muni, who was a merciful Acharya and spiritual master of, Vyasdev also, who has given us our scriptures, he was there in the forest. So he saw a deer with broken legs. And he, being a devotee of the Lord, he felt a lot of compassion. He felt compassion. Then he saw one more animal. Then he saw a rabbit in pain. Because he has been hit, he's half dead, he's not even full dead. So he wanted to find out who is doing all this. So he saw behind a tree this hunter whose name is Mrigari. And he walked from the main lane, he walked towards this hunter. Right? And when the animals saw Narad Muni walking, the animals fled away from there. They ran away. So this hunter was very disturbed. Arey, you came here and because of you all the animals ran away. So it is impacting my business, he said. So Narad Muni said, what are you doing? Why are you killing them half? So he said, that is what I have been taught by my father. So Narad Muni, he did not just feel compassion for the animals who were suffering, he felt compassion also for this hunter. He said, each animal that you are killing, of course killing is sinful and one has to suffer in future lives, life after life. So that is why it is said that a butcher. So it is said that a butcher should neither live nor die, because when he is living, he is suffering. He is working in a sinful environment, always miserable. And when he will die, a butcher, he will have to face the consequences of all the work that he has done. So a butcher should neither live nor die. A king, better he dies. Because a king is mostly, if he is a materialistic king, he is mostly involved in sense gratification, sinful life. Though he is enjoying now in the body of a king with a lot of power, but when he dies, he has to face the consequences. A devotee, it doesn't matter whether he lives or dies. Why? Because when he is living, he is conscious of the Lord. No matter what is happening in his life, he is conscious of the Lord. So he is, in his heart, he is experiencing bliss. And when a devotee dies, he goes back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha. And a brahmachari, it is said that better he dies because he is doing so much austerity. He is controlling his senses. And when he dies, he will get the fruit of his austerities. So Narad Muni said that you are a butcher. You are bound to suffer in your future life. And you are half killing animals. So you are bound to suffer miserably in your future life. But Mrigari, he accepted that, what Narad Muni said. And he said, oh, so what should I do now? So Narad Muni said that first of all, you give up your bow. You go to the bank of the river and you have a Tulsi plant there. You worship Mother Tulsi and you chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like we said, to be Krishna conscious, we have to do two things. What are those two things? Shravanam and Kirtan. So I am giving this example to demonstrate, to basically discuss the transformative result of chanting this Mahamantra. Narad Muni said, you chant Hare Krishna. But then Megari asked him, then what will happen? How will I get my food, how will I survive? So Narad Muni said, that you don't worry, I will arrange. So this Mrigari, he started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right, along with his wife. And villagers, they came to know that, oh, this person has become a Vaishnav. So they started getting food stuff, they started getting food grains for him. But as he started chanting Hare Krishna, he started experiencing purification. And after some time, after a few months, this news spread that this hunter, this cruel hunter, has become a Vaishnav. So Narad Muni, along with his friend Parvat Muni, he said, let us go and visit this Mrigari. So Mrigari, when he saw his spiritual master, his spiritual master, what he gave him? His spiritual master gave him a process. He gave him the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He did not give him anything material. But the impact of following that is that he felt so much love for his spiritual master that he got up and he started running towards Narad Muni. But he wanted to offer his prostrated obeisances like Dandavat to Narad Muni. But he stopped himself from doing that. And why did he stop from doing Dandavat to Narad Muni? Because he saw that there were so many ants lying on the ground. And he did not want to hurt the ants. So a person who was relishing, keeping animals half dead, became so much transformed by chanting the names of the Lord. Similarly, we know the story of Valmiki, Valmiki was I think he was a dacoit. And by chanting the names of Ram, he became the great sage Valmiki and he wrote the Ramayana. So the point is, coming back to our verse, to be able to act in consciousness of Krishna, we have to become Krishna consciousness, and through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have the process in which we can hear, we can come to the temple, we can hear the Bhagavad Gita class, which is weekly, and Bhagavatam class, which is daily in the morning. We can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and we can feel the transformation in our lives. All of us are evidence of that. Many of us were not devotees, but by following this amazingly transformative process, our lives have changed. So, action which is devoted to the service of Lord is actually inaction. Why? Because it doesn't give us any material reaction. In fact, it gives us, while living, it gives us pleasure, it gives us love for God, and after we pass away, it gives us entry to the spiritual world. And even if not, we are guaranteed a human life in the family of Shruti Shriman, as the Bhagavad Gita says. Shrutiman means learned Brahmanas, transcendentalists, or very wealthy families. So let us take a takeaway that let us try and engage more and more. See, and the best time of the day to do Shravanam Kirtanam is, of course, morning and evening, because morning is the Brahma Muhurat time. It is a time when the mode of goodness is there. So we can try and chant the names of the Lord in the morning and also engage in spiritual activities in the evening. So with that, I will stop here. Thank you for your attention. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki